How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse, and I'm here with Paul, Senior Product Line Manager at New Balance. And Paul, it wasn't that long ago that you gave us the full first look, secret exclusive of the SC Trail. Now we've got the shoe in our hands. We've been able to test it out a little bit, and I want to go a little bit back to the beginning of this shoe, how it started and what the design process was like.
Yeah, I really have to go back to really some of the beginnings of the SuperComp model series. Talk about SuperComp Trainer V1 and SuperComp Pacer, and obviously we have a brand new SuperComp Elite V3. But what SuperComp family of shoes really represent is bringing high energy return foams paired with our Energy Arc carbon fiber plate technology. Those have been historically only for the road and track up until this point. But we knew we wanted to bring those same athlete-led innovations, but apply them with a trail lens. And so we actually went through about 3 or 4 totally different versions of the shoe. Some had really high booty cuts, some all the way to the point where we're at today. But we really need to solve for the trail runner and the trail athlete, knowing that it's different for a trail athlete than it is for the road and for the track athlete.
Now, you talk about those differences, and when we go back to the initial road shoe, we've got the RC Elite. What did you take from that shoe, and then how does this shoe separate itself?
Yeah, absolutely. And so with SuperComp Elite V3, we have obviously extremely high stack heights, all the way upwards to 40 millimeters. We didn't want to go that high. We wanted to make sure that we provided a bit of security and safety and not a super squirrely experience for the trail runner, knowing that the conditions are going to be far different for that person than if they were running the Boston Marathon. And so in the case of the SuperComp Trail, we actually started with our RC Elite V1 stack height. It represented a perfect middle ground for us to provide high energy return, great underfoot cushioning, but not be so unstable that you couldn't take it to the gnarliest trails and be super nimble underfoot.
Now, super foams, they're known for being soft, low durometer. What were some challenges in utilizing a foam like that for uneven trail surfaces?
Quite a few challenges, to be honest with you. And so what we've actually landed on here is a dual hardness setup. And what that just means is that the bottom part of this super foam is going to be just a little bit harder for some safety, for some durability, some protection. And that durability component was the part that was actually the hardest for us to solve for. When we were applying trail outsoles that obviously are under tons of pressure in a trail and outdoor environment, providing a lot of shearing and stretching of that outsole. And we were getting some delaminations and things when we were using our absolute lowest density foams. So we just needed to make sure that when you took this shoe out for a run and used it multiple times, that you could only use it once or twice. We didn't want that at all. We wanted to make sure that this felt true to a trail shoe, not just a road shoe masquerading as a trail shoe. So that was incredibly important for us. But also what was really important was the weight and the energy return component, which is why the top layer above the carbon fiber is some of our lightest and highest energy return fuel cell materials that we've used. And so what's really exciting about that is you're getting really the best of both worlds. True fuel cell ideas and mentality with SuperComp carbon fiber plate technology and Energy Arc, but still some of those durability and safety and security ideas that trail needs to be known for.
Yeah, and when we talk about super shoes, there's 2 components. Obviously, you've got the super foam, but there's also the plate that lies within the foam. Can you tell us about how you got set with the final design process, and if you went through a couple of different plate options?
Yeah, we did go through a couple of different plate options. There's no doubt about that. And a bit of a theme in this conversation is the fact that the trail runner needs something different than the road runner. So we tried full spoon-shaped carbon fiber plates like we're using in an SC Elite. But where we ultimately landed was on a fork design idea that really is biased towards the medial side of the foot. The reason being is that your big toe is part of your propulsive device. And so we wanted to make sure you had a bit more plate under the big toe, but you had the nimbleness and the ability to have something that was just a little bit more horizontally flexible, which is why we have kind of the forked design with this carbon fiber plate.
Yeah, so mixing that plate, the foam, and then even when we look at the traction and the lugs, all those components together, I guess my final question is, where do you see this shoe lying in terms of best performance on the trails? Is this going to be a shoe that does well on rugged terrain, technical? What's going to be the best use for race day?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of all of that. We have athletes that live in the UK, for example, that are fells runners that are just bombing down the side of massive hills and massive mountains. And we see this as being a great option for them because some of the cushioning components that FuelCell has to offer. Obviously, we've got an incredible traction element when it comes to using Vibram light base paired with Mega Grip, some of the best and highest technologies that a partner like Vibram has to offer. And so we can see this as being something that you and I would take out as something that we would use on a daily basis and have a perfect amount of protection and a really fun ride. But we know we'll have some elite athletes that are going to be bombing down Fells runs in the UK as well in this, because it's going to feel light and fast underfoot at the same time.
Yeah, well, you know, Paul, I've ran in pretty much every super shoe on the road over the past 5 years. It's an exciting space, and now it's great to see a lot of that technology trickling on over into the trail. And if you're looking to get the New Balance SC Trail on your own feet, you can find it here at Running Warehouse.